Hello everyone, and welcome to Halloween Reviews and News. Today we will be previewing the Dead Zone construction site by Lemax. Before we start, make sure to hit that red subscribe button if you love Halloween decor and Halloween reviews, because that is what we do here. Oh yeah guys, and make sure to stick to the end to hear my ratings of this piece based on creativity, theming, animation, and an overall review of this piece. So make sure to stick to the end for that. And without further ado guys, let's get into this video. Here we are on the Lemax website. First we're going to click New Villages because it's a new item for this year. We're going to go down to the Halloween section. There it is. We're going to click on this. And the first one is the Dead Zone construction site. A pretty unique building for this year. So here it is. Dead Zone construction site, as you can see. First off, I'm going to tell you how I structure each review. And so for each item, I'll tell you some other smaller Lemax pieces or figurines that certain item would go with, kind of a suggestion what to put this with. Basically, if you wanted to buy this item, I could give you some ideas on what to put this with, basically. And then we will watch the video, if there is a video. In this case, there is a video right here. We'll watch the video, listen to the audio, see what moves, see what doesn't move, and go from there. Alright, let's start off with my recommendations for this piece. This piece has it's very hard to theme with, hard to put stuff with, but I have some pretty good ideas of what you could do with this piece. So first of all, if you wanted an industrial feel, because this is kind of what it is, industrial feel, you might want to buy the Dead Man's Mine. By the way, all the recommendations that I mentioned in this video, they'll be in the description with a price and where to buy them. So, Dead Man's Mine in the description if you wanted to buy it to go with this. So if you didn't want to buy Dead Man's Mine, it is pretty pricey, it's $100. I would definitely put this with a bunch of other Halloween haunted houses, you can say, such as the Haunted Knoll, the Grimsbury Haunted House of this year, that's a new piece. You could get that with this. That would go with this. Or the Boogimen's Hangout. Those three big pieces might go with this. Or any really haunted house, Lemax Haunted House, Department 56 Haunted House, would definitely go with this. If we were to put them with all the haunted houses, I would recommend getting a few other small pieces to put with this, obviously. I would get the Gargoyle Fences Lemax has, because there are gargoyles on this piece. I would probably get two of those, actually, because they're not going to wrap around the whole building. As many as that wraps around the whole building, I would get those. I would then get the Lemax Gargoyles to put in the construction site, so inside the fences, and I would get the Lemax Gargoyle benches to put in there just to go on the gargoyle theme. Next, I would get the Lemax Creepy Critters, one or two of those. Those are really great for your Lemax Spooky Town setup as a whole, your Halloween setup as a whole. I would definitely get a few of those. And then I would get the new piece for this year, the new figurine for this year, the Zombie Mechanic, which I personally believe goes perfect with this piece. You could also put that with the custom hot rods shop that they have this year. And so there are my recommendations, guys. That's what I would recommend to do with this piece. I don't think I'll personally be getting this piece. It is very cool. But now, let's get on to the video. Let's look at the video and see what we got there. So here we are in the video, guys. Not the best quality, but it'll work. So I'm going to pause it throughout to point some stuff out that might interest you. Some things you might not be seeing. So let's start the video. I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to talk about this big crane up here. Now, we don't really see like huge animation from Lemax. It might be like small stuff like this guy that moves forward, which he does move forward. But it's really eye-catching when you see something big like this, because Lemax doesn't really put a lot of this out there. I think it's good that they're doing that. Very noticeable piece of animation. And this guy hanging off there, that's very unique of them. So let's unpause the video. And I also want to point one more thing out. There are two examples of very cool lighting in this piece. First of all, we saw in the frame before, let's go back to that. There was this guy. He has lighting in his welder machine, whatever he's doing, that flashes and it matches up with the audio. I think this is really unique. They've been doing this for the past few years. They should continue to do it because it is very cool. And I like how they did two pieces of inserted lighting, you could say, in this piece. And obviously the second one is down here. This guy screams. He is acting like he's getting like electrocuted or something. It's in his ropes. The lights are in his ropes and they flash up and match up with the audio. I think that's very cool and they should keep doing it. That's just one thing I wanted to point out. This is also super cool. If you've ever seen that picture, I'll throw it up on the screen right now, of the workers on, I think it's in New York, they're working on a building and they're eating their lunch on the rails. I think this is where they brought that inspiration from. It is very cool. A kind of a backstory on that. I like that. He's eating lunch on this, acting kind of dangerously, you know? So, but most of the audio, actually, let's talk about the audio for a second. Most of the audio just says work, work, work. And it's better than some other audios that are like in your face. This might be a background one. You know, you can put this audio on with other pieces audio because it's not too distracting. Alright, so let's hop out of the video and do the reviews part. Alright guys, so now it is time for my rating of this piece. First, we're going to start off with creativity. I think this piece is very creative from Lemax. It has creative animation, as in the crane and this guy, and I think the lighting animation with the inserted lighting into the ropes of these guys' machines, that is very creative. Also, the guy eating lunch on the rail on the metal piece is very cool. So creativity is going to be a 9 out of 10. It's not the top because they could have added more stuff up here. I'll throw up some pictures of where they could have added more stuff. So that's creativity, 9 out of 10. Pretty good creative-wise. Next is going to be theming. It's not the best theming-wise. It's okay. There's not a lot of construction sites. This is the first of its kind. So I'm going to give this a theming score of 7 out of 10. Not the best, but it's okay. Next is going to be animation. Animation on this piece. I'm just going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's not the top, it's not like a Tilt and Hurl or a Zombie Party, but it is still great animation with the huge crane that moves back and forth and the guy dumping skulls down. So that's going to be a 9 out of 10 on animation. Overall rating, is going to be a 8 out of 10. Pretty solid piece. Not the top, but it's solid. So if you made it to this point in the video, guys, make sure to subscribe because I will be doing reviews of all of the new things that Lemax has put out. And without further ado, guys, let's get into the spooky Halloween music.